So hi all, good evening once again. Okay, so I hope my screen is visible. Yes or no? Can anyone confirm?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Sonic. Now let's just start. Okay, so before we proceed, let's briefly review what we covered in our previous session. Okay, so we started with the syllabus for the Power BI course to get an overview of the topics we will going to cover. Okay, so then we discuss the concepts of business intelligence. Okay, its definition and its significance. What is business intelligence and how it will be helpful for us in the Power BI things. Okay, then we also looked at the BI architecture used in any organizations, including the staging area, data warehouses, and data models. Okay, after that, we examine the BI tools which are there available in the market. Okay, so with a focus on the Power BI, we discuss all those things, so why it is needed, and we discuss the key components of the Power BI as well. Okay, so the key components of Power BI includes the Power BI desktop, Power BI service, the Power BI mobile app, the Power BI servers, and the report builders. All these things we discussed and understood in their roles and importance. Okay. The same thing we discussed in here, the Power BI desktop, Power BI service, and the Power BI mobile. Okay. Then finally, we covered some essential elements of Power BI, such as the datasets, visualizations, styles, reports, and dashboards. All these things we covered in the last class. Okay. Then, okay, till here we have covered. Okay. Now, the next thing is the four views, the four key views available in the Power BI desktop. Okay, so let me just show you in the Power BI itself. So when you launch the application, the Power BI application, you will be greeted with the page. Let it load first. Okay, you will be greeted with this page. From here, you have to select this blank report to create a new report and visualizations. Okay, now once you will select it, you will be greeted with this page. Okay, so this is the Power BI desktop in which we will be going to transform the data, create the reports, and all those things. All those things will be done by this Power BI desktop. For transforming the data, you have to go in this transform data, but this transform data is a part of the Power BI desktop. Okay. Now, here we can see on the left pane, we have what we have is we have four icons here. Okay. So the first icon, as we can see, this is a default view. Okay, which is saying the report view. Okay, if you will select it, it is by default. This is the report view. Okay, where we will create and arrange our visuals. Okay, it is used for designing the reports, adding the like we can see there are different types of visuals. Okay, if you will select anything, it will come up in here. So thus we can create the report. Okay, and here also we can see if I hover over my cursor here, okay, so we can see it is saying report view. Okay, so we will spend most of our time here while building the reports. Okay, so this is the report view thing. Okay, then next one is the table view. Okay, also called as the data view. Okay, so it shows the actual data tables. Let me just go inside. Right now we can see there is no table. Okay, there are no tables. Okay, but when we import the tables, okay, then we have all the tables available here. Okay, so it is helpful for validating the underlying data before or after modeling. Okay, or even after transformation or before transformation, we can see all the data or the records here. okay, in the table view, also known as the data view. Then we have this model view. As we can see, it is saying model view. So this view displays the relationships between your data tables, okay, how they are linked with each other through common keys or columns. Okay, it will be available here. Okay, so it's like a visual map of your data model showing joins, directions, and cardinality. Okay, which we will discuss in depth while discussing the data modeling section. So model view is an essential for understanding the relationship between the tables. Okay, so I'm just giving you overview of all these views. Okay, then we have the DAX query view. Okay, so we have this DAX query view, which was added at later point of time. Okay, in Power BI desktop. I think it was added between the mid of 2024. I think it was July or August. At that time, it has been added this view. Okay, so it is designed for writing and testing your DAX formulas. Okay, it lets you see the result of calculated columns, measures, and aggregations in real time. Okay, so it's particularly useful for debugging the DAX logic. Okay, and understanding how your formulas behave with the live data. Okay, think of it as a scratch pad of DAX experimentation. Okay, just like that. So these are the main four views. Okay, to just to summarize this, I will just again repeat this. So report view is for creating and viewing your visual reports. Okay, then we have this table view or the data view. It is for viewing the actual data tables. Okay, then we have the model view. Okay, so it is for understanding the relationships between the tables. Okay, then we have the DAX query view. So it is for testing and analyzing the DAX expressions. Okay, I hope everyone is clear with all this view, the overview of these views. Is it clear? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Then, okay. So before we jump into the Power Query Editor, okay, it's important to understand the overall workflow within the Power BI. So I think workflow. Okay, here it is. So workflow. So the process begins by connecting Power BI to your data sources. Okay. This Power BI, you have to connect it with the data sources from where the data will be coming. Okay. So those data source can include the SQL databases, Excel files, cloud services, APIs, etc. Anything you want. Okay. So at this point, Power BI fetches the raw data. Okay. So at this point, the Power BI fetches the raw data, preparing it for transformation. Okay, if the transformation aren't done previously. Okay, so we have to connect with the data sources, and then we have to import that, and then we can transform that. Okay, so then the next step is next we will clean and shape the data. Once the data is imported, okay, then we have to clean and shape the data. So this includes handling missing values, fixing the data types, removing duplicates, reshaping tables. So this is done using the inbuilt ETL tool of the Power BI that is called as Power Query Editor. Okay, so that is that can be useful for the transformation. So this is transform data. If you will click on this, so you will be redirected to the Power Query Editor. Okay, I think in the last class I have shown you. Let me show it again. Okay, so see, if I'm clicking on it, so it will open a new tab. Okay, a new separate tab here. As you can see, this is the Power BI desktop and this is the Power Query Editor. Okay, so in this Power Query Editor, we will do the transformations. Okay, so this Power Query Editor, it offers a no code interface of performing ETL within the Power BI desktop. Okay, so we will come on to this. Okay, don't worry about this. I'm just showing that how we can reach to the Power Query Editor. So this thing is called as the Power Query Editor. As you can see, Power Query Editor. So this is the inbuilt tool of the Power BI desktop. Okay, then Once the data is clean, okay, we move to the modeling, okay, by defining relationships between the tables, okay, setting primary keys and organizing the schema, okay. So all these things will take place in a model view, okay, which is also known as power pivot. Sometimes we also call it as power pivot. Okay, so let me just go here. So all the modeling will happen here. So, and one important thing, although the data modeling also takes place in the data warehouses, but within Power BI, it's specifically done in the model view. Okay, as I've shown you here in this section, we do the model view, modeling of the data. Sorry. Then the next step is, so after modeling of the data, okay, we build the calculated columns and measures using the DAX, okay, to derive custom metrics that will derive our reports and dashboards. Okay, so in this part, we will be going to cover the DAX, like how we can use the DAX function to create the DAX formulas. Okay, so with the help of DAX, we can create the calculated columns and the measures, and we will discuss what is the difference between the calculated columns and the measures. Okay, and where we can use these two things. Okay, so with the help of DAX only, we can create these things. Okay, now once the calculation are ready, okay, like once the calculated columns and the measures are ready, so we move into the report and visualization space, okay, where insight or the data are turned into interactive visuals that are easy to interpret. Okay, so here we will create the reports with the help of the visuals which are present in the Power BI report view. Here with the help of these visuals, we will create the reports. Okay, so after designing uh, the reports, okay, so the final step is to publish them to the Power BI service. Okay, so it will enable us to it will enable the sharing, collaboration, and access control okay, across the organization. So this will helpful for the Power BI service will be helpful for the publishing, sharing, and collaborating with our teammates. Okay, so that's what we can do with the help of the Power BI service. And also with the help of Power BI service, we can do many things. We will discuss in depth when we will start the Power BI service section. Okay. So to summarize the Power BI workflow, okay, I will just summarize it. So first of all, we have to connect to data sources. Then once the data will be imported, we have to transform that data using the Power Query editor. Okay. Once the data is cleaned, okay, so then we have to use the mod model view to do the modeling of the data. Okay, and then once that it is done, so then we will create the calculated columns and the measures with the help of DAX. Okay, and once that is done, then we will create the reports and the visualizations. Okay, then finally once the reports are done, okay, then we have to just share it across the organization or collaborate with our teammates. Okay, so any questions so far, please ask.
Uh, I have one question. It's regarding publish, share, and collaborate. Is
Okay.
there any option if we share any report to anybody in the company, for like
Mhm.
right to edit or just
Yes,
we?
yes, 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 yes. That is available. That
Okay.
if you are trying, if you want to share the reports and you
Mhm.
want them to only view, okay, they can
Okay.
only view. If you want them to edit, okay,
Uh,
they can edit
uh,
as well. Okay, they
so
are
that
different.
that settings we need to do in DAX or while saving the report.
No, that setting will be done in the Power BI service only. When you will enter the email ID or whatever the contacts of those person, okay, at that time,
Uh-huh.
like have you used the Google Drive?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just like same. Okay, when you will enter
Okay.
the email ID. Okay, so
Uh,
you will be given the option whether you want them as a
okay, okay,
viewer or the editor and all these things. Okay,
okay. Yeah, thank you.
welcome. Okay, fine. This is the workflow of the Power BI. Now let's get introduced to Power Query Editor. Okay, so Power BI's built-in ETL tool. ETL means extract, transform, and load. Okay, so for now we won't go deep into importing or transforming data. Okay, we are just focusing on the interface and layout. Okay, we will just get friendly with the Power Query Editor before doing the hands-on. So I will just tell you what are all the specifications of the Power Query Editor. Okay, before doing the hands-on. Okay, so to launch the Power Query Editor, okay, first we have to open our Power BI desktop, like I have opened. Okay, so from here we have to go to this home tab. Okay, and then we have to click on this transform data. Okay, as I have done just a moment ago. Okay, so it will open a new separate window, which is this Power Query Editor. Okay, so as we can see here, we have this Power BI desktop. Here we have the Power Query Editor. Okay, so let's quickly walk through the Power Query Editor interface. Okay. So on the left, okay, we have this queries pane. Okay, so this shows a list of all the tables we have loaded. Okay, so these tables are known as queries in Power Query. Okay, whatever table you will import in the Power BI desktop, that will be reflected in the Power Query Editor below this queries section. Okay, so in Power Query Editor, queries are termed as the tables. The tables are termed as the queries. Okay, and then let me open something different. Let me open just a different view so that you guys can understand better. So now we have this Power Query Editor. Okay, now here you will understand better in a better way. So as you can see in this Power BI desktop, I have just imported a table which is called as films. Okay, and then I went into the Power Query Editor. So that films is placed below this query. So this is a query itself. Okay, so all the tables and the parameters will be placed here below this queries pane. Okay, and then on the right hand side, okay, we have this applied steps. Okay, so every transformation you apply, okay, like here you can see promoted headers, change type, and there will be whatever the transformation, like removing rows, removing columns, change of data types, like all those things will be logged here as a step by step history. Okay, so making it easy to track or modify your changes. Okay, all the applied steps will be present here. Okay, so we will explore these features in more depth once we begin working with the actual data. Okay, I'm just giving you an overview. So for now, this overview should give you a good visual sense of the Power Query editor layout. Okay, so let me walk you through a quick example from one of my personal batch. That is this one, the previous batch. Okay, let me just check what else I can give you. So this is one of the example. Let me open the Power Query Editor. Someone is trying to join. Let me see. Let me open a new data file. Why is taking so much time? Why loading the data? That is not possible. I think something went wrong. Okay, let it be. Let's discuss this now. Okay, so here we have this Power Query editor. Okay, and here we can see the table name is fill. Okay, and on the right hand side we can see the applied step. Okay, so here the applied step starts with the source navigations and all those things. So these source and navigations will be common in all the transformations. Okay, so whenever you will create any transformation, this source and navigation will be available. Okay, so here if we will look at this source. Okay, so if I will click on this gear icon. Okay, so it will display the original data source from where I have imported this data. As you can see, it is indicating that there's a D drive in my system and there's a movie Excel file. Okay, so from there you have imported this data. Okay, and the type of the file is Excel notebook. Here we can see. Okay, so this just show what from where you are getting the data. Okay, then we have the navigation. Okay, so this indicates which specific table or range you are pulling out from your source. Okay, here the Excel file might have different sheets. Okay, so here as I can see, I have imported this sheet one. Okay, so this is the use. This navigation displays those sheets and whatever the records you have imported from that Excel file. Okay, so then we have the promoted headers. Okay, so this converts the first row of your data set into column headers. Okay, like here you can see if I will go to the navigation. Here we have these ID, titles, release date, runtime, all these were in the as a first row. Okay, but once I have transformed the headers, okay, as a first row, okay, use first row as a headers, then all the first row will become the headers, as you can see. Okay, so this promoted headers will indicate that your first row has been transferred to the column headers. Okay, like ID, title, release date, and all these things. Okay, and also we have this change type. Okay, so this change type, this automatically or manually sets correct data types. Okay, like here you can see this ID has been set as this number data type. Okay, this title, this has been set as both the number and the character in, or we can see text data type. Okay, this release data has been set as a date data type and all this. So these are just a few examples. Okay, now, so every transformation is tracked here in sequence. Okay, you can click on any step to view your table at that point in the process. Okay, so these things, the step-by-step navigation, will be helpful for debugging or rolling back to the changes. So this is just a overview of the Power Query data. Okay. Now let's take a look at this tools, okay, which are available in the Home tab of the Power Query editor. Now, starting with the close and apply. Okay, so this close and apply finalizes all the transformation steps made in the Power Query editor, and it will take you back to the Power BI desktop. Okay, once you will click on this close and apply, it will just uh, what it will do? It will just confirms all the transformation and it will take back you to the Power BI desktop that it is. Okay, so this action confirms and loads your clean data into the Power BI desktop. Okay, making it ready for further analysis and visualization. Okay, and once you will close and apply, so all the changes you can see here in the table view. You can see here this table. Like whatever the changes you will do, you can see here in this table view. Okay. Now going back to the Power Query editor, then we have this new source option. So if you want to bring in more files or data tables, okay, so you can just use this new source option. It allows you to connect with, let me just show you, with more than 100 data sources, including databases, files, web servers, and cloud platforms. So if you will click on more, so here you can see there are multiple data sources available to connect with the Power Query editor. Then we have this recent sources. The recent sources just an option provides quick access to the data connections you have used recently, nothing else. Then we have the enter data. If you manually want to enter the data, like you enter in the Excel, okay, so you can use this enter data option. Okay. Then we have the data source setting. Okay, so if you want to modify any of these settings for your existing data, okay, then you can use this data source setting. Then we have the refresh preview. So you will find option to refresh all the tables using this refresh preview. Okay. Then we have the advanced editor. Okay. So we can also access to the advanced editor. Okay. Where we can view and modify the M code. M code is nothing but the scripting language Power Query uses to carry out the transformations. Okay. So like whatever the steps you will do now, it will appear as a M code or the mashup language in the advanced editor. Okay. So as you can see here, we have done I have done few steps. Okay, all the transformations, use navigation, promoted headers, and change type. And if I will go to this advanced editor, here you can see the source. This will be indicated as navigation. Here is the promoted headers. Here is the change type. So this is the code generated by the Power Query editor itself. I haven't written this code. Okay. So this is generated by the Power Query editor. So yeah, that we can go that we can see in the advanced editor. Okay. Then we have the choose column option. So this option allows you to select only the specific columns you want to keep on your data set. If I will click on this choose column or go to column, we have the options. Okay. So we will discuss, we will do the hands-on for all these tools. Okay. Then we have this remove columns. Okay. And also we have this remove rows. Okay. So these tools help you to eliminate unwanted columns or rows from your data. Then we have the split column. Okay, so this function allows you to divide a single column into multiple columns based on a delimiter or a specific logic. Okay, here if I will do it, so we can split the column by using the delimiter or number of characters or anything you want, it can be done. Okay. Then we have the group by option. Okay, so this group by, if you have attended the SQL course, in the SQL course, you must have studied about this group by. So that is the same thing. This is used to aggregate data. For example, summarizing sales by category or any other dimension. Okay, so we can use this group by. Okay. Then we have the let's say merge queries. Okay, and also we have the append queries. Okay. So these two things are very important. Okay, these are powerful tools for combining the data. Okay, so merge, what it will do, merge will join the data from two tables based on a column, common column. Okay, and while append, what it will do is append is stacks tables on top of each other, like adding more rows. Okay, so we will discuss this in the hands-on section. Okay, so this is about the home tab. All these tools are available in the home tab. Okay, next let's explore the transform tab. Okay, here the transform tab offers a comprehensive set of tools to reshape and refine our data. Okay, so some features like as we can see, the group by, okay, are also found in the home tab. Okay, as we have here group by, we have the same thing in the transform tab as well. Okay, so few of the tools will be present in both home tab and transform, so that there will be the flexibility in how you access and apply the key transformations. Just for the flexibility, it has given in both the tabs. Okay, but all the both in both the tabs they work as the same thing. Okay, they are no more different. Then within the transform tab, we can perform a variety of data transformations, such as using the first row as headers. Okay, so this promotes the first row to be the column headers. Okay, then transposing your data. Okay, so this means swapping rows into columns and columns into rows. Then we have the reversing rows to flip the data order. Okay, and also we have the counting the number of rows in your data set or the data. In the data set we can count the rows. Then we have the replace values if you need to clean or correct the data entries. We have the pivot column and unpivot column options to reshape your data for better analysis. We also have the split column option, which was here in home tab as well. Okay, so apart from all these tools, we have some mathematical transformations using the built-in mathematical functions. Here we can see the statistics, standard scientific trigonometry, rounding information, all these things. Okay, to manipulate numerical data. Okay, so we will explore each of these features in depth once we start working with the real data in Power BI. Okay, so for now, just focus on getting familiar with the interface and the available tools. Okay, no need to worry about the technical details yet. Okay, and you don't have to note something right now. Okay, I'm just giving you the overview of all these tabs of the Power Query Editor. Okay, so once this transform tab is done, then we have this add column tab. So when you want to create a new columns in Power Query Editor, okay, so the add column tab is where we want to go. Okay, so the important part or the important thing to note here is that any transformation done here, okay, doesn't modify your original columns. Okay, instead it creates a new columns based on the logic you apply. Okay, I will repeat it again. So here, when you are using this add column tab, okay, so it will not modify your original columns. Instead, it will create a new column. Okay, so it will help you to enrich your data without losing the original structure. Okay, so here we have several options. Okay, for adding the columns. Sorry. So first we have this column from examples. Okay, so we can also create a new columns by providing examples values. Okay, and Power BI will automatically detect the logic behind them using its column from examples feature. Okay, making it easier to generate custom columns without writing any formula manually. Okay. Then after that, we have this custom column. Okay. So we can define our own logic and formulas to create fully customized columns. Okay. So this is about the custom column. Then we have the info custom functions. Okay. So this allows us to apply predefined or custom functions to generate new columns. Okay. Then we have the conditional column. So we can create columns based on if and then logic. Okay. Assigning values based on certain conditions. So we will use if and then while creating a column using this conditional column. Okay. Then we have the index column. So this will add sequential number to your rows by creating an index column. Okay, a series of number. Like here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this can be created by using this index column. Okay. Then we have the duplicate column. Okay. So if we want to create an exact copy of an existing column for further transformations, we can use duplicate columns. Okay. And also what we can say. So yeah, these are all the part of the add column tab. Okay. So we will explore each of these options thoroughly once we start working with the actual data sets. Okay. So don't worry about memorizing them right now. Okay. Then we have the view tab. Okay. So to better understand the structure and quality of your data, the view tab like it provides powerful profiling tools. Okay. So this will include the column quality, as you can see. So which will displays the percentage of, let me just click on it. So it will display the percentage of valid data, the error data, and the empty values in each column. Okay, helping you quickly identify the data issues. Okay. Then we have the column distribution. Okay, offers a visual overview showing how many unique and duplicate values exist within the column. Okay. Then we have the column profile as well. Okay. So it will just show, or it will just give the details statics like count, distinct values. Okay. Select the column. Okay. Like this, it will just give the statistics like the count, error, empty, distinct values, unique values, mean, max, average, and all these things. Okay. So this process of examining data, okay, is called column profiling. Okay, and it plays a crucial role in ensuring that your data is accurate, okay, and ready for the analysis. So this includes our walkthrough of the Power Query Data interface. Okay, so
I
if
have
you
a point
guys,
over here.
yes,
How it will
yes.
identify by error, or I mean, empty is fine, but how it will
Mhm.
identify error? What is the exact meaning of error over here?
Okay, so I will show you while we will start the Power Query Editor, and I will show you once we will get the error. Let me just first of all, yes, yeah, okay.
And on what
So,
basis it is identifying that the data is valid? There will be some base, right?
mhm. So see, once we will start the Power Query Editor section, I will give you the example of like when we get the error, okay, how it will identify the errors and on what basis it will stop it. Okay. And on what basis it will validate the data as an error. Okay. So,
Okay.
so we will see that in the coming classes. Okay. Anything else? Or anyone has any doubt? Nice.
No, no.
No. Okay. Fine. This is our view tab, column tab. Okay, fine. Now let me just go to the Power BI desktop. Okay, so now let me show you how to. I think I have discussed how to install the Power BI desktop. Okay, nonetheless, let me show it again. Okay, so to install the Power BI desktop. Okay, although I assume many of you might have already installed, but let me just show you. So here you have to go into the Microsoft Store. Okay, and here you have to search for Power BI desktop. Here you can see. You will click on it. Okay, as I've already downloaded it. Okay, I need to update it. Okay, so you will get an install option. Okay, or download option. You just have to click on that, and you just have to click on next. Okay, so it is quite easy to install the Power BI desktop. It's not complicated as any other tool. Okay, so it is very simple. And also, if you don't want to install it from here, you can just go to your browser and you just have to write it Power BI desktop here. Okay, and here you will see the official site of Microsoft. From there, you can just go in and download or install the Power BI desktop. Okay, why it is taking so much time? Okay, so it's quite simple here. You just have to write it Power BI desktop download, and it will redirect, and you will get the options from different sites. But you have to go to the Microsoft official sites. Okay, and from there you have to install the Power BI. Okay, so that is how we can install the Power BI desktop. Okay, then this is the page. Okay, fine. Now let's go ahead and launch. As we have already launched the Power BI desktop, you guys have to open the Power BI desktop. Okay, as I have opened a new Power BI desktop here. Okay, like here we don't have anything, any data previously. Okay, so this is a fresh Power BI desktop GUI. Okay, so it will look like this, and we have to now we will see how we can import the data from different of various data sources. So once the Power BI desktop get open, okay, so we have these four views as we can see, and to import the data, okay, you must have to be in this home tab. Okay, like you have to be in this home tab, and here you have to click on this get data option. Okay, so this is where you can connect Power BI to various data sources. Okay, so today or right now, I will be demonstrate how to connect Power BI desktops to various type of data sources, including the CSV files, Excel workbook, or let's say SQL Server database, or one I can take it as a web data source also. Okay, so this we will discuss. Okay, like how we can connect to these data sources. Okay, so this will help you understand just how flexible and powerful Power BI is when it comes to working with different types of data sources. Okay, so let's start by importing the data from an Excel file or CSV flat file. Okay, so what we have to do is first we need to click on this get data option. Okay, at first you will see some commonly used data sources listed here. Okay, as you can see here, but to explore more options, click on this more. Okay, and a new window will open like this, and this will show you a wide range of data sources supported by Power BI. Okay, so currently Power BI supports connections to over 100 different data sources. Okay, uh, that we can call as a key reason why it's not only popular but also the most widely used BI tools in the market today. Okay, so since we are importing a CSV file, so or a flat file, we have to just select this text CSV. Okay, once you will select it, then you have to click on this connect. Okay, then Power BI will then prompt you to browse for the file on your system, that which file you want to pull in into the Power BI desktop. Okay, so you just have to navigate. Just put this easy and I select something. Okay, let me pause this. Now will and you just have to click on this open. Okay, so once Power BI connects to the file, okay, so it will display a preview of the data, like you can see here. It will just show you the preview of the data which you are trying to import. Okay, here you will have this snapshot of the table, including the column headers, as you can see, and a sample of the data rows. Okay, so remember this preview is limited to something like based on the first 200 rows. Okay, and also you will notice that the Power BI automatically detects the delimiter. Here, as we can see, it has selected the comma because we have imported the CSV file, that is comma separated values. Okay, then once you have selected your file and viewed your preview, okay, you will have two choices here. The first is load the data, and second is the transform the data. And this is the cancel. If you don't want to pull in, you just cancel this whole thing. Okay. So the main thing is load the data and the transform the data. So let me explain the difference between these two. What is loading the data and what is transforming the data. Okay. So Power BI will attempt to import the data. So let me just load this. Okay. As I have clicked on load, so what does Power BI will do? It will attempt to load the data directly into the Power BI desktop as it is doing now. Okay. Um, yeah, right now, while loading the data, it has just thrown an error. Okay. But nonetheless, when you will try to load the data, okay, so it in the Power BI will try to load the data directly into the Power BI desktop. And generally, when you will try to load the data, if there will be any error in your data set, it will throw the error like this. Okay. So let me just check what is this error is all about. Okay. So the error is about this. When once you will click on this view error, it will take you to the Power Query editor. Like there is some error, as you can see, and this order date. It has been marked as a red line. Okay, so it will show the error here. Okay, so this is just a common scenario, like when you will try to load the data, and if there will be any error in your data set, so it will show the error. Like we have saw the prompt that there is some error in your in your data set, and once I have clicked on the view error, it will take me to the Power Query editor. Okay, like this. Okay, so this is the general case. So this will be what I can say is this can be avoided by using the second option. Like let me just show you. If I will just close this, you want to find now. So what I will do, we have this order CSV. Now what I will do is I will again try to get the data. Okay, the same data. Okay, order CSV, and I have open in here and see. Once again, it will give me the preview of the data, and this time I will not click on the load data. Okay, but what I will do, I will click on this transform data. So what it will do is it will directly take me to the Power Query data without showing me the error in the Power BI desktop. Okay, so here you can see it is showing me that there is the error, and here we can see there is the error in this column. Okay, so that is the use of the load data and the transform data. So the load data, what it does, when you are 100% confirmed that there are no errors, okay, there are no errors in your data set, then you can go with the load data. Like, let me just show you. If I will try to get a data set, okay, which I'm confirmed that is 100% correct, there will be no error in that. Okay, like let's say what is 2018, and I will click on open, and it will show me the preview like this. And this time I'm clicking on load data. Okay, see what happens. So it is loading the data in the Power BI desktop. Why it is again showing the error? Maybe it is showing the error of the previous data or something else. Okay. Or what I can do is show you the error of the previous data. Okay. Let me show you that in that data set also there are some errors. Okay. Take it, let's see. Details. Okay. Let me just take this. This time what I will do is again I will load this data. Okay. I hope this time it will see what happens. So this time what it does is here it is gone. Like I have opened the Power Query data now. That's why it is showing the Power Query data. So once you are confirmed that there are no errors in your data set, and you will try to load that data, you will use the load data option. Okay, then it will directly load it into the Power BI desktop without going into the Power Query data. Okay, it will not open the Power Query data. It will directly load it into the Power BI desktop. But if there will be error, then it will take you to the Power Query editor. Okay, and the second option, what I have shown you, that if you will click on that transform data option, like just show you, it will be better if I show with this example. Okay, so if you will click on this load data, it will directly load it into the Power BI desktop without going into the Power Query data. Okay, if there will be no error. Okay, and if you will click on this transform data, so it will directly take you to the Power Query editor, irrespective of that whether you have any error in your data set or not. It doesn't matter. If you will click on this transform data, it will directly take you to the Power Query editor. Okay, is it clear between the difference between load data and the transform data? If you guys have any question, please ask.
Yeah, it's clear.
What about others? Any response from others?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, clear. So this is the difference between the loading the data and the transforming the data. Okay. So the load data will directly load your data into the Power BI desktop, and transform data, it will take you to the Power Query editor, irrespective of whether you have an error or not. Okay. So other data sources we will discuss in tomorrow's class. Okay, like how we can connect it to the other data sources. Okay. So I will just stop here and conclude this meeting now. Okay. So if you guys have any doubt or any question regarding anything, please ask.
I have one question. Once we
Yes.
create any report, if we want
Mm-hmm.
to save the changes, whatever we are
Mm-hmm.
doing in the report, like editing or something, is there any place in Power BI where we'll see the revisions? Like, say, for example, in first editing, we change uh, so and so column or so and so error we have corrected. So, is there backup of the changes what we do in this report?
You're talking about the reports,
Yeah, reports or
easy
any
reports. Oh.
document if we load or transform, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once we
Mm-hmm.
load any data, so we'll see
No, no,
the
no, no. Wait, wait,
we'll make.
wait. Just a minute, just a minute. You're talking about the load and transform the data, or
Yeah,
you're talking
load
about
or
the
transform. It may be
okay.
applicable to anywhere, whatever we load or whatever we transform, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if there are
Mm-hmm.
any errors, correct? So
Mm-hmm.
those errors we have corrected, whatever errors were there and what were the corrections done. So can we
Mm-hmm.
see at end of the finalization of that document version kind of
Yes.
stuff?
So, like, see, here we have got the error, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
So
once you
this
will
is.
correct it,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
So once you will correct it, and once you will click on close and apply, okay. So it will redirect you to the Power BI desktop, and at, at in the Power BI desktop, there will be no prompt like that, like we have seen, like you have error in your data set. Okay. So this line will be gone, and it will become like this green line. Okay. So that is the sign that you have corrected your data, which was throwing the error.
Okay, so
Okay.
we need
So
to go
whenever
to every row
mm,
for checking this error
y-
or.
yes, see, as you can see here also we have this error. It is showing that you have the error in this column. Here also you can see that there are some errors in your columns. You have to correct it. And once you will correct it, okay, and you will close and apply, even if you will correct it, this error will be gone. This red sign, okay, it will be gone. And that will signify that your data has been corrected now.
Okay, so we just have to select remove errors. That's
Yes,
it. We
correct.
don't need to
Yes,
do any manual inputs to this column.
yes, correct. Like
Okay.
it might be it have the data types
Mm-hmm.
errors, or might be some values errors. Then we can do that manually, and this red sign will be gone.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, fine, everyone.